This one.
Now, did you have to purchase this, or is this just another free app?
It's free for now. Make sure you're in there.
Hi.
Hello, terrestrials.
I didn't do it. Start. Whoa.
He's ready.
We're ready, but now.
Oh, it got
where's
smaller.
We need to get.
You can angle the chair probably a bit. Oh,
Get
hey.
rid of that, but
Yeah, you got it.
yeah, you gotta move it.
Okay.
Move it on up. That's good.
What did I drop? My microphone.
I just know.
Sorry, listener.
Yeah, I think that. Just cracks me up every time. Sorry. You don't want to. Oh, I see.
Headroom.
I'm
Oh no, you're exposed.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Just kidding. No, but I seriously, really, I forgot my. I'm gonna make horrible noises on that thing. I forgot my. I made a whole little note card like I do, and I forgot it. So we're winging it.
We're winging it. Well, we said we'd
Which we
start
do.
with our jokes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Which
You're
I'm gonna
ready.
find
I'm
one.
ready. I've got one. Okay.
Joke.
How does a T-Rex feel after practicing yoga?
Don't know.
Like a dinosaur.
Oh, that's
Aw.
cute. Okay, I have one. Why did the bicycle fall over?
Why?
Because it was too tired.
I
That is so good, right?
I like that.
like it a lot.
Too tired.
Right, I'm gonna find one so fast.
I have another one. What
Okay,
did the triangle say to the circle?
What triangle say to the circle?
Yeah.
What?
You're pointless. The universe is made on linear curves anyway, so I think that's pretty good joke.
Why do dogs make terrible dance partners?
Why?
Because they have two left feet.
Wow. They do. Oh, but they have two right too, so they're probably really good dancers.
Probably.
They got extra feet.
They didn't say that.
Tippy tappy.
I was about to say, my dog, the bad one, the one that doesn't like strangers, he does this little dance with his two front paws.
Oh,
So,
that's
like,
cute.
when I walk towards him, he sits up real tall and he's like,
Oh, that's
Aw.
cute.
he's adorable.
Mine does it with her back feet when you rub her butt. She's so
Oh,
cute.
she
Back
does.
feet move.
Yeah,
All right,
she like car washes through your legs
yeah.
and parks her
We
butt.
call
right in
it,
front of
yeah,
you.
we call it car wash, or char wash. They call it.
She's a char wash. That's so good.
All right, one more, and then we'll get going. What did dogs eat for breakfast? Poached eggs.
That is good.
Life.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye. We're here every Wednesday.
Every
Try the
Wednesday.
deal.
So yeah, sweating up here.
Me too.
No kidding.
I am.
Are you?
That could
It's
just
the
be.
I
nerves.
was trying to do the old timey comedian joke, but
Is it on here or
yeah,
what?
kinda.
So,
Sweating.
have you, I know you're not a big TV watcher, but have either of you started Baby Reindeer on Netflix?
What?
No, I have my eye on it.
That's cute. What is it?
It's this guy wrote this true story about him being stalked by a woman, and in the show it's about his life, and he was trying to make it as a stand-up comedian. So we've watched 2 episodes so far, and there's a lot of, he's not a great stand-up comedian, so it's very awkward. Like your heart kind of breaks while he's on stage because like nobody laughs.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about
But
that.
she
with
laughs.
Well, she laughs really loud,
Oh.
like kind of maniacally.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, oh, putting it on the list.
I've been wanting to watch it for a couple of weeks because I've seen so much media about it, and I've been like dropping, like, you know, because we've been working through like the Marvel movies, and like my husband and I have stuff we watch, and last night there was nothing to watch, and I was like, we could try Baby Reindeer.
Aww, that's a cute name.
He was in.
Good. I thought you were gonna say it was a continuation of Sweet Tooth. You all remember that?
That's coming.
That's coming.
Is
back.
it?
Coming
Yeah,
back.
the second season.
I've been waiting since then.
June 6th. They're
He probably
dropping the
talks
next
like
season.
this. No.
The kid.
I actually screamed from the living room today because it was
Really?
coming, and my son and I watched it together. So I was like, "Sweet Tooth is back!"
Oh my gosh, you guys, that kind of like contributed to my like breakdown a little bit because
Uh-oh.
I was like, wait, is that what COVID's doing? And am I a reindeer? I was like looking for bumps on my head and stuff. I was like, maybe my dad just hasn't told me yet.
Like,
I'm like-
I can't see him.
That I'm a mixture between 11 from Stranger Things in real life and Sweet Tooth. He's just waiting for the right year to tell me. That's when he was like, you should come stay with me for a while.
I'm getting worried.
Yeah. That was a really good show. I really liked it.
We enjoyed it.
That was the other joke.
What? You remember the joke? What? You gotta wait till next week.
Okay.
No, I was asking why you're hesitating.
We'll allow one more.
I don't know. All right. What happened to the one-eyed deer that got hit by a car?
Oh no, what?
No fucking idea.
Yee! I have another one! It's just like that. But I don't remember the setup, I only remember the punchline, so I don't really know if that's gonna work out. It's like, what do you call oh no, it's not gonna work.
Damn.
Research.
Okay, I'll research it for next week. Dang, that would have been hilarious. Alright.
Yeah, you can find it. I mean, I found the thing about the chicken pitcher.
I'll find
You
it
can-
when we talk about. I'll find it when we're into something really serious, and I'll just interject it.
But I
Awesome.
did totally come out of Savasana like, what the hell are we talking about?
What? The chicken picture? I was like, what is the yogic lesson? But I really
Sleep
like
with one
this.
eye open. And the chicken.
And we
I
have
loved
some
it.
chicken pictures in our basement that
Do
I
you?
pulled out. Yeah, I may pull them back out and hang them again now that I know that they're for luck.
Yeah.
And
Use
protection.
it too for lemonade. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, it's a good story. It's really nice to know about
Mm-hmm.
that.
And I have one in my kitchen.
Yes.
Kitchen chicken picture. Like there's so many sounds. in
Yes.
that. I loved it. When you said it, you're like, I have a chicken pitcher in my kitchen.
and,
like-
I said it right, which
Because
if I thought about it, I probably wouldn't have. I have to tell you this story. So, and this will lead us into our people that we follow and all that stuff.
Oh man, I have to look.
on wherever.
I'm ready. I
So,
have it first.
Also podcasters. So, but it's about the podcast that I did with Andrew on
Yeah,
Monday.
Only podcasters we follow?
No,
or
no.
anyone we
Anyone,
follow?
just
Okay.
anyone on. But this just happens to be
Got it.
He wrote the book. He was a yogi. He's not doing yoga. I mean, he's not teaching yoga anymore. Anyway, so I put there because I've been listening to their podcast now because I listened, to kind of get to know where he kind of is right now and stuff like that, and to learn about Jen, who he does his podcast with. Anyway, so they were talking about something, and she brings up it was about time, and she's got kids or somebody. Her son plays lacrosse, and so she's like, I'm gonna throw the chicken in the crock pot and blah 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 blah. And so she's telling him this story about how she forgot to, she threw the chicken in, and that thingy that's on it, she called it a diaper. She's like, the chicken diaper. And I'm like, I just started laughing. I knew exactly what she was
Right.
talking about, and I never heard. And he's like, the what?
The chicken diaper.
And then so he kept giving her a hard time about that. And but it was funny. I was like, chicken diaper. I like that. Like the diaper of the. She's like, it absorbs the stuff.
It is a diaper.
It's like ew. That-
Gross.
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I can eat.
I don't know how I
That
feel
food
about
with
that.
that.
It's
Anymore.
gross. One time I squeezed one out. I don't know why. I was just curious.
Yeah.
That was the grossest thing.
It is. It's
I was trying to
gross.
be really clean with my trash, I guess, and I was like, get all the,
Yeah, the longer I go not eating meat, the harder it is for me to think about eating meat.
It's getting hard for me lately. Like I had a cow, like a sad cow, come into my awareness while I was eating a steak the other day. Oh my god! I like literally felt like myself gag, but I still finished it. So
Well,
I have to reconcile.
That's exactly what just happened to me when I was listening to that podcast.
Really?
I was
I
like,
literally was like, oh no, poor baby cow. Like, I just was like, I'm like, I know. That was a real moment. I didn't mean to hijack your
Oh
segment.
no, I was. That was it.
Oh.
That was it. So
who
so
was
I
on?
brought that person. So you guys go next.
Oh yeah, okay. Well,
No
with
pressure.
podcasts, I know there's.
You don't have to do podcasts. It can be just random people because I got a bunch if we go through. And now that I don't have my notes,
I would just love to. I'm trying because I okay. Actually, this is what I'm going to do for my portion of the share. Is earlier before we recorded, I was talking about how I just had this realization that a lot of the content that I've been delving into is starting. There's like all these little patterns forming that I don't necessarily like to see, and they're all sort of doing it, and it's becoming like very plasticky and just the authenticity is starting to fade from a lot of whatever drew me to them is like revealing. It's like a veil got lifted or something all of a sudden for me because it's like all of a sudden everything. I'm going to stop my stream of consciousness there. Have you ever had a cookie, or why is it a cookie? It's always a cookie. But
it's okay. I love
have you ever had a cookie like that's been in a plastic bag? You know, like if you take it somewhere and you eat it later, and you're like, that tastes like the plastic bag a little bit.
Yeah.
Everything has that plastic taste to it now. Not everything, but most things. And I had this very visceral knowing earlier today where it was like, I had a voice that came over me that was like, you need to like follow some better people. Like it was just like, I realized like when this request came up, I was like, I mean, I'm not going to necessarily unfollow the people that I resonate with, but I think I'm going to take a serious dive into what I'm following and unfollow a lot of things. And I did that back in 2020 when I started questioning if I had values. And I was like, I need to like clean out everything that I'm taking in. And so I finally like, you know, I got Instagram in like 2010. So it was a good 10 years of who I'd accumulated that I went through. And I was really proud of myself for doing that physical task. Like same goes with my email and whatnot, like your digital cleanliness felt really good to offload some of that. And so I basically had established my new, that is when I had a turning point in life, when I switched into like a healing path, so to speak. And so I was like, I got my Instagram with my healers and I'm like, okay, I think it's time to do that again. And
Absolutely.
I don't feel bad about it.
Your
You
digital
shouldn't.
hygiene.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel bad about it.
Even if it's all spiritual, like all of it is. I have to clean out through that now.
But
Well,
you grow through and past and
right, you evolve
different
as
way.
you should. You shouldn't, like the things that fed you 5 years ago are not going to be the things that feed you now.
and they're still going to feed other people. You know,
Right.
you're moving to a different direction. Somebody else is going to come in and
I like that you
follow
said
that.
that it's still feeding other people because
Yeah.
I've started to go down the path of like being upset now that this veil was lifted for me, made me feel like I need to be like concerned for them being exposed to the world. It's like I need to expose them for not applying to me anymore. But it's like there are people that it's going to apply to.
Right. They're speaking to people. You just need to look for what speaks to you. And I think that's a constant effort.
Yeah.
and that's chicken pictures. I mean,
And chicken pictures. Yeah.
Because I get a lot of conversations about social media. Social media is horrible, and social media is the devil, and social media makes people miserable, and you know all of the bad things about our this world that we live in is that's so technically enabled. And the algorithms are horrible, right? Like you always hear, like the algorithm's awful. The algorithm is telling you what to buy. But the reality is we're all in control of what we see. We're all in control of what the algorithm feeds us. We just have to be really intentional about where we're spending our time so that the algorithm will give us more of what we need. Like there was a period during COVID where the only thing I saw on my Instagram was hippos. It was that Fiona, the hippo at the Cincinnati Zoo. Like I had to stop watching the news because it was making me cry. And I started looking at hippos and baby hippos, and I was watching Fiona and I was liking Fiona. And like over a period of like 6 weeks, the only thing that was showing up in my feed was hippos.
That's really cute.
And then when I was healed and ready to like dip my toe back into the real world, I started looking at other things.
Wow. That just opened up something. That makes me think of how cyclical we are. and that also applies to our digital patterns. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it's like every time I'm like overeating is when I start feeling like social media fatigue, and I feel like I need to clean it out. It's like every few weeks I'm like, I find myself reaching for things that don't make me feel good at all, and it's like, and I'm aware of it, but I still do it, so I'm battling that right now. But we all are all the time, I think. And I noticed like this seems so obvious, but it's like also I skipped like yoga or something like 3 days in a row, and then also I'm like, wow, it's like I do my meditation in the morning, but then as soon as I'm done, I'm like, what's going on social?
Yeah.
And there was about like 3 months where I didn't interact with any social like whatsoever. Well, actually, I checked 2 accounts every couple of days, and then now I'm like, how did I get here? Like, I know way too much about what's going on in strangers' lives right now, and that distracts me from my own healing and taking accountability for myself. And it goes hand in hand with like the habits start piling up. It's
Well, and acknowledging those habits and making small shifts to change what you're spending your time on can be done without getting angry with yourself, punishing yourself, talking about it, right? Like,
and it like swings back up, and it's like I keep like witnessing myself going back into that cycle, and I'm like, do I just like enjoy while I'm at this part of the cycle and like let it happen, or do I like I love
Don't
Well,
linger
I'm
too
not
long, but don't push it.
don't hang out there.
but I don't beat myself up that I
Right,
have
you
to
don't
go
have to beat
there.
yourself up.
Be curious about it. Why do I feel this way?
And what's happened
going
that
on?
triggered me? Why am I here? I've been in a cycle. Like, I almost didn't come to yoga today. I didn't go to yoga yesterday. I didn't go to yoga on Monday. And 4 weeks ago, I was going every single class, every day, sometimes twice a day. And today, when I was thinking, like, I love Ashtanga Wednesdays. Why don't I want to go to Ashtanga Wednesday? And like, I checked in and I was like, I'm tired and my body hurts. And, I spent a couple of days in San Antonio at the hospital with my dad, and that kind of threw me off. And, there's very tangible reasons why I'm off cycle. And then I was able to say, okay, I'll feel better if I go to yoga. And that's how I got here.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like, you better go to yoga because that's what the right thing to do.
That's what happens in my brain. Because if I didn't show up, then
you're the teacher.
You're the teacher. It would have been a problem.
Well, and those are the only classes I go to right now. So I gotta get my game on too, because it does. It makes you feel better.
Yeah, I did the same thing today. Like, it was like, I don't want to go. Yesterday I went to meet somebody. I took my dog down to meet a friend and meet her dog, because I'm going to dog sit and like take Maddox down and like stay there. And so I had to miss yoga, and I was like, I had that feeling of like, how dare this person schedule during my yoga time? Because if she knew, and it's like, don't you know that I'm not available during? But then I had to talk myself off that ledge, and then it was like acceptance, like, okay, I see my old thought patterns, and I'm just gonna ski down a new pathway on this one. And then it was like, okay, there's value in skipping. And then today was my chance, because I was like, I feel like the ski slope where it's like a snowball, where it's like, I skipped 2 days and it's like easier to just keep skipping until the snowball's so big, you're like, it's been 6 years and I haven't gone to yoga. But I had an opportunity to like change the momentum and go anyway, knowing that I would feel better. And I'm glad I did, because during Laura's class before Ashtanga, I was getting pissed, and then I started crying in the middle of a hip opener, and that actually has like, honestly, that's never happened. As emotional as I am, is how much I release, like, and it's such a stereotype. Like, I did a hip opener, I started crying. It's never actually really happened to me.
Yeah,
Did
never happened to me.
Did you laugh while you were crying
No.
at what was happening? Or?
I wanted to. I can laugh now, but during it, I was like, it was so real. I was like pissed at myself for like not, because for skipping days and then losing like limberness, and then my hip is hurting, and I'm like, I'm never gonna be able to do yoga again. I was like spiraling, and I was like, I'm gonna have to get hip surgery, like rich, and then have to borrow that chair from their friend. It's not even theirs. Like,
She's a yogi.
I I've got a chair like that you can borrow.
Well, thanks. I'm not planning on getting
We
hip
got
surgery.
plenty of
But
chairs.
then it's funny because like all the different therapists I've had since I've been back in the States, like we talked about earlier, like came into my mind of things that they said where I like didn't agree, and I was like, was I right in that and not agree? Like I had that
Am
whole
I allowed to not agree?
yeah, like I had that whole dialogue in like half a second, and then I started crying. And,
Oh.
like, because all of that overthinking, I allowed it, and it settled, and it revealed that I'm deeply sad right now because of me missing out on my like just the cycle, getting
Yeah.
off cycle. I got to grieve that like I could have had a better timeline if I had not skipped so many days or whatever, or like, or I could have chosen. It just revealed a different trajectory, and it made me really sad. And I feel like that's a lot of times what sadness is for us. Maybe not sadness, but I think that's what a lot of reactions can be, is like grieving something that didn't happen, that we like held ourselves to. For me anyway. Like,
Well, and even it's the made up story that we create about what could have
Yes.
happened if we had followed that timeline, right? Because
yeah.
you don't know that. If right,
Yeah.
there's no guarantee
You
that
could have
you
missed some horrible stuff.
right.
So I have to grieve a fake. Yeah, so there's my body's like need to grieve a fake loss, almost like a fictional projected loss.
Or an opportunity to remind yourself that I didn't lose anything because I'm at yoga today.
Yeah,
In the present moment.
yeah. I
The
feel
only
that.
moment that truly exists.
You're right. Yeah, so I got to arrive back in the present moment after I cried, but I was still just like, ugh. It just. But anyway, I feel like I knew that if I had waited more days, that would have been a way bigger emotional reaction, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I had the whole mental thing of, well, you've been skipping, and in a week and a half you're going on vacation, so you might as well just miss the next week and a half
Yeah.
plus the 2 weeks of vacation.
But
And
you're
then-
gonna yoga the shit out of that vacation.
but that's where your brain goes,
Yeah.
right? And then I come back in July, and I'm no like, I can't even do a forward
And what does
fold.
that even mean? That's cool though, because then you're not bored.
Right.
Toxic optimism.
So
Count on me.
so with that, I will say that I'll share somebody I do like. I have this thing because I have so much like reverence for this person and how they live, and I want to live that way, and I don't. So there's a little bit of that dynamic where sometimes you guys know what I'm talking about, where you look at, I admire and I like love what she puts out, and I think she's so genuine that it almost just the respect is like conflated with almost envy, because I'm like, I feel like I'm that at my heart, but I don't get to live that way, is how it feels. So I like look at it and almost just like, I wish I was that, you know, like I just wish I was that so much that it makes me sad. But I only have support for her. I don't feel any like jealousy or like animosity that she has something I don't. It's just that I'm like, that's my sister. Like I should be next to her.
But you should,
I should
you
know
don't
her.
need to,
And
but
be
you
like
don't
her.
need to, you can be like her without whatever she, but you're you.
Yeah.
Well, you
Be inspired.
it's that
I'm
whole
so
thing
inspired.
about understanding what life you want, right? What is the life that you're living that you want to be yours, and then making decisions to make that happen, and make that the priority, as opposed to looking at someone else's life and grieving that your life
Yeah.
doesn't look like that. Like those are two very distinct ways of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the whole idea of say no to anything that doesn't create the life that you want is really the focus
Yeah.
that helps me with that grief.
And everything might not be on that
Right.
page.
That's the other thing, right? The whole concept of people's social media accounts are their highlight reels.
Yeah.
Like you can't see behind, like she is presenting the image that she wants us to see. We don't know about her struggles or her fights or her frustrations. Like there's more there than we can see.
Yeah, right. It's so frustrating though, because she's so genuine, and you're like, there's nothing, like her soul is so beautiful that it's gross almost. It's like it like her words are just, and I'm almost feel not competitive, but I'm almost like me too, me too, me too. Why am I not? And it makes me cry and it makes me self pity. Like, what the fuck am I doing so wrong that I can't express the way that she does? Like, I don't feel like she has anything I don't. I am obsessed with the way she lives her life or the way she presents herself. But I feel equally like I have my own unique version of that.
That's
and
what
I'm
I
not
was
able
about to
live it.
say. Like you have this amazing
not gonna compare.
presentation. You have when you start talking about what's happening in your brain and making the sound effects, like I am completely enthralled. Like, where are we going with this story?
Yeah.
So I think the
That's funny.
exercise here is really taking time to love yourself and love what you bring to the
Stop
table.
looking at Leah.
Because somebody might be
Love
saying
her.
that about you.
That is the sweetest, or not sweet, that is the best. Thank you. These two today, listener, are just like on fire. Y'all been like cushioning me with like nurturing,
With love.
fierce positivity. And it's like, but words of truth and wisdom, it's obviously organic. Well, okay, so after a really long intro, I will announce who I'm speaking about.
Okay.
Because she is,
So we can follow her.
because she's just incredibly well worded. She's a singer, and I actually found her music like randomly during 2020 and didn't put it together that I was following her on Instagram for like years. I was like, this girl is sexy and beautiful and cool, and I didn't realize it was her. And her music is so raw that I thought it was like some like, I did not think it was her.
Okay.
She's so real, but she's also gorgeous. Leah Live Free.
Leah.
Leah.
Okay.
Live Free. And her aesthetic looks very like spiritual right now, but like she puts on like a little retreat, and she's a musician. So I don't know what, I didn't pick out a post.
Okay.
I should have.
No, I think you've given us the gist of,
Okay.
and I'm going to follow her.
Yeah, I just
And then
want-
we're going to talk about this again in a couple of weeks.
Okay, that's a perfect. That's all we need. Then I don't need to go into it because I was gonna read like some of her, but I'm just gonna click the last post I liked and read the top of her caption because
Is that it?
yeah, that's it. Because the most value I get out of this account is in her captions. Like the pictures are just, it's all about. She's a poet. Like she's an artist, and it's like with her words and her. But it goes beyond that. It's with her energy and like the way it makes me want to cry because I feel like I'm talking about myself in like a parallel dimension, and I'm like, I want to be like, I feel like I'm scratching at like the walls.
Are you centered in the fact that you're talking about a person that you only see on Instagram?
No, I guess not.
She could be like other people we were just talking about.
Yeah.
That you go to meet her and ends up like.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I have interacted with a couple, like very specifically two Instagram accounts at the beginning of my healing journey, where I felt so passionate that I wanted to like let them know how they affected me, and they responded and even like gave me advice. It was like so beautiful. And then I did the same with like two other ones, and they just like ghosted, and it was just, I get that if you're a big account, like but it just was like. Made me have a bad taste in my mouth. It was so inauthentic. I don't know.
Well, and I mean, in all fairness, in a lot of cases, the running the Instagram profile is a job. Right, it's a business.
So I didn't take it too. It was
Right.
just like, the fact that those other two guys did respond though, and they're so big and they're so genuine, it just meant so much that the opposite felt so like kind of like a punch in the face. Even though I feel in general what you just said, I agree with that statement.
And I think that's what you center into. Like when you find yourself feeling the certain way that you're talking about, where you're jealous of or wanting what they have, it's really center yourself in. Like this is curated to make me feel a certain way. Like the focus needs to be on the present moment, yourself. What are you doing? What are you busy creating? What is the life that you want to live, and how are you making that happen?
Okay, Leah says about the Sagittarius full moon. She says, I trust the many forms I'll take, shifting shapes. You looking at that one?
Yeah.
So long as I am steady in my faith, I've always known myself as a Gemini mind, moon split from one pole to the next, every language, face, and fragment in between, spoken to, communicated with, made art alongside. And as much of a gift as it is to dance the threshold, it came with an unfortunate case of spin polar whiplash. I'm not going to read the rest. I'm going to pick a little line or two. Hermit of the morning, disciple of the daylight, showgirl by moonlight, they're all me. And the belief that I have grown in myself and learning that, the faith that I have practiced in praising an all-powerful, ever-directional, full-spectrum, life-giving God, that faith has somehow stretched me past my own polarities and landed me in a field of steady.
I also know that you have a prolific imagination and you are a great writer. So I would encourage you, and we've talked about this before, right? Doing morning pages, writing our own thoughts, getting stream of consciousness on the page. I'd love to see you working more at getting your thoughts onto paper and creating posts like that more than reading someone else's posts and wishing that you were doing it.
Because you can.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. I don't have any response to that. Because you can. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, I've got to back to the podcast of Andrew. They had a best practice that they were doing in February. Sorry, folks.
Sorry if we just attacked your
if that
ears.
hurt you.
Oh, just the one.
I was talking about this.
It's just like every.
I'm so sorry.
I can't wait to listen back to it.
Well, it won't show up on this one. It'll only
It'd be
show
so
up on
much
that.
funnier if we could hear the, because it would just be like
Yeah.
something like
Good.
like brooms falling.
Hey, knock it off.
Sorry. Anyways, what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, best practice. They were talking about doing a best practice for February, and Jen had said that she's going to, anytime someone gives her a compliment, she's going to stop, say thank you, and write down the compliment if she has time, or just put it on her phone or whatever, and then write down that whatever the first feeling she had from the compliment was.
I
She was
love
gonna do
that.
it for the whole month. So I'm like, maybe in June we should do it, and then we'll report back to them because they have a webpage, and we'll just
I love that. I'll
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Years, not too many years ago, a couple years ago, I had a executive coach tell me. So one of the things I was struggling with was perfectionism and being really hard on myself when I didn't get everything done exactly right. And she was like, she was scolding me really for not like relishing the wins that I had, because I had some wins, but I was beating myself up for the small percent of things that were going wrong. And so when a tangible exercise that she had me do was every day at the end of the day, take 15 minutes to write down like the things I accomplished. And then every week when we would meet, we would review the list. And it was mind boggling because I was getting a ton done and I was incrementally achieving goals with very small steps, but I wasn't giving myself credit for it because none of them were like big aha like things. And so when we started reviewing it week over week, like my mentality really shifted around like, oh, I didn't win that big thing, to like, I got a lot done this week. And it was a great exercise.
I love that. Love that. Well, that's fine.
Okay.
I think I'm done with it. Leah, live free.
so you'll keep her.
Oh
on
yeah,
Instagram.
I think for sure. Sometimes I wonder if I should mute accounts like that for that reason of the comparison thing, and like that might be part of my clean out criteria.
Yeah.
Because I could still support her energetically if it's taking away from my own creativity. Maybe I could like mute it for a while.
It would be interesting to see if you really zeroed in on creating and not consuming.
Yeah, just go
And
dark.
spend like 30 days just creating your own content, and then go back and look and see if your perspective shifts a bit.
You know how I feel about that is afraid. I think because of my following is still like my original Instagram following, and it's like I don't think I apply to most of those people anymore.
Well, then
And
they'll.
I'm like
they'll
afraid
move.
of criticism that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? I'm afraid someone from high school is going to stand on the lunchroom table and be like, she is not qualified to speak. Like, I feel like that.
I always feel like that, but I still
yeah.
oppose.
You do? I don't know how
I feel
do
the
it.
same way. Like I have that. We all have those.
I've been like paralyzed since like
Don't.
Facebook was invented, and I felt that way. I like started my own. Zanga was like before Facebook or on Facebook, and you got to actually do coding and stuff. So I was like doing like amateur coding, and I got this like weird primal butterfly thing where I was like, I get to create something. And I remember Facebook came in like right after and was like, no, you don't create anything. We just feed content. Like there's just pictures and words. And I remember being upset.
Well, and I don't think you have to start with putting your content out there. I think
Just
just
create
start with creating it.
I have so much already. Oh my gosh.
And then you start culling through it, and then and then in a while we'll be like, okay, baby bird, get out of the nest,
Yeah.
go put it out there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna
You
start
can
going through
put
it.
some of it on our yoga and other shit.
Yeah.
For our one follower can like
Yes.
not criticize.
Right.
Don't
They're not
criticize me.
Well,
They're
but we
just gonna
we
say
do have the one
something.
hater, but you can handle
Oh,
that.
he's fine.
right?
He's
So-
fine. I feel like we would have a good chat over some kombucha.
But
Maybe.
I also feel like there's something petrifying about people in your real life community, right? People you went to high
Because,
school
like,
with,
two
people
separate
you
people.
work with.
Yeah.
Like, so over in the yoga and other shit, like that's a whole different community. So
Yeah.
maybe that is a good test bed.
You're right. Okay. Done.
Because then if some stranger has shit to say, you're like,
It
whatever.
doesn't matter. You don't know me. I just don't want like
You should be more yogic.
I don't
What
want
do you
like
want here?
Timmy Smith to, who I don't want like someone from my like childhood past.
Not really, Tammy.
Tammy, no, just like someone being like someone criticizing me that like repeats something from high school.
Yeah.
Or like Brent like hitting me in the head with a basketball. Okay, so moving on.
Is that your microphone?
Yeah, no, it's the water bottle. Sorry.
Do it right.
Okay. So
We're
I
really
went
good at this.
I went a different direction with my follow. So one of the accounts that I follow and really enjoy is B_TMJ_doc, DOC. And she is a dentist out of, I want to say Oregon or Washington.
Just kidding.
And she specializes in helping people who have TMJ dysfunction, like where your jaw's clicking or locking in place. And I actually had a locked jaw a couple years ago and had to go through treatment for it. And when I was when it happened, I didn't know what kind of doctor you go to. Like my primary care physician was like, yeah, I don't deal with jaws. And my dentist was like, ooh, this isn't great, but nobody had a real solution for me. And so I spent a lot of time online kind of trying to figure out like what's going on and what kind of doctor do I go to. And she was very helpful. And the interesting thing is, like I told the story about my jaw locking on stage at a business conference. And afterwards, easy 50 women came up to me and was like, I clench my teeth. My jaw pops and cracks. Should I be worried? And I was like, yeah. Like, if it's popping and cracking, like you're on the way to having TMJ dysfunction, so you need to get some help.
My jaw clicks every time I open my mouth.
So the click,
No.
the click is that little disc, because it's a ball and socket, like
Yeah.
and there's a little disc that sits behind it, behind the bottom jaw as it sits in the top jaw. And when it's clicking, that disc is popping out of place. And how my jaw locked was I was clenching my teeth from stress during COVID so much that the disc popped forward and left my jaw in the locked position, and I could not open like I couldn't. This finger wouldn't go between these teeth.
My God.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
What'd you do?
I found a TMJ doctor. And
You did sleep like that?
So I went to my dentist, and he initially injected Botox into that muscle with the hope that would numb the muscle and then make everything work, and it didn't. And then I found the TMJ doctor, and what they do is they create an orthotic, and it creates space behind the back, between the back two teeth, to get that jaw in the resting position where it needs to be. so that slowly the jaw could open up and then the disc could go back where it needed
So
to.
how did you like eat and drink until you went to the dentist?
I
You just hung out
I
like
just
that?
hung out like that.
Breathe through your mouth?
It was I mean, it hurt too bad to chew. There was
Yeah.
nothing I could do. So like, you know, I ate mashed potatoes and soup and
You just like kept it up. I mean,
yeah.
are you even like rush me to
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Even once I got to the TMJ doctor, they put the orthotic in, and it still took a couple more weeks before like everything relaxed and I could use my jaw normally.
What was the total time?
Yeah, how do we fix this?
Well, this happened in 2020, and these braces are the final stage of the fixing.
Oh, okay.
Did you
Yeah.
tell the woman at the conference that?
I feel the same way.
Were they
I'm
like,
I need to. I'm sorry.
I'm like trying to feel the muscles and like.
No, I don't want.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to touch it.
Ah!
Push it out of place.
I had a Hertz. Have you heard of a Hertz appliance?
No.
Where they put the
Oh, okay.
bars.
Yeah.
And it synthetically sets your jaw forward, and then your jaw has to like grow into that position.
They do that when you're a teenager.
Yeah, I think it really messed me up.
Yeah, a lot of the cosmetic things that we do
Yeah, it was all cosmetic.
have a long-term negative impact.
It made me so mad at the dentist when I went that recent time, and I was like, yeah, clenched teeth, like cracked teeth, that's like about stress, like that's horrible. And they were like, yeah, I know, but it looks good when you do. And I was like, why? Like,
Well, and what I learned is not every dentist, not every orthodontist is trained in understanding how the temporal mandibular joint works, and so you have to have a dentist that specializes in
Yeah.
the joint.
right.
And so that this lady taught me a lot about it and really helped me figure out how to get treatment.
I think it's criminal that there are dentists and caretakers or like practitioners out there who aren't that's not training that's basic for like people's health, because like people could go, I mean, not treated and like die or whatever. But like
my
it's
gosh.
just
Well,
dangerous.
people-
To me, that's so unethical. Knowing that knowledge,
I think it happens in a lot of places.
I don't
Like,
ever it's like gatekeeping, like life saving or altering. Like the stress from that is.
because it's not like learning about the jaw and how it works is not part of like the dental school curriculum.
Well, that needs to change. You know what I'm saying?
No, I
Like,
agree.
It is appalling to me.
I found the same thing, changing subject completely, but I found the same thing when my son was having trouble learning how to read. And I found out that teachers don't get education about dyslexia in their teaching programs.
Yeah.
And so they don't know how to help children, 1 in 5 children who show up in their classrooms and can't learn to read the way that we typically teach kids how to read.
Wouldn't it be cool if the like researchers and the people who create the education system were like in touch and like read each other's shit so they can make changes every year instead of
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Well, cool. I'm following, so I'll report back.
Yes, me too.
I'm excited to learn things I can change about myself. I was thinking about getting another night guard from like CVS, the kind of Boyle,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know if that would be worse. Like I don't know if my alignment's even good.
So the night guards only put a buffer, so
Yeah.
you're grinding the night guard and not the teeth. An orthotic actually gets your jaw into the position that it needs to be in order to help alleviate the dysfunction. She actually has some videos where she explains that much more eloquently than I did.
I'll find out. Thank you. What's yours?
I don't know. I got a bunch. I didn't know how long. You know,
Yeah.
you don't know. You have to have
I've got
backups.
more.
Now I gotta
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, so you all know I talk about her. We've done her yoga class to you and I.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Carrot Bowl Bonnie,
I thought about her, but I figured you would use her.
totally using her. So she helps yoga teachers own the hell out of their voice, creative sequencing, joy, and also she has an email blast called Sexy Sunday Drip that she puts out there, and she has another Instagram page, Sexy Sunday with Bonnie.
Did
So
you
and they're a
s-
little sexier.
Did you see the retreat that she's doing in Oregon in September?
She's one in September, and then she has the one that's in Ecuador. No,
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Oh, she's doing another one in somewhere else. Like I want to say Ecuador, but I don't know. If
The
it's
week in Oregon really spoke to me. Like, this is not the year for it. We got a
No.
lot going on, but I had a moment where I was like, Rachel, do this with me.
Totally. We could do a. I want to go up to where the chicken pictures are in northern Italy, which is boom right
Just
there.
Right there.
So and
Oh, that's why you did the story.
Lake Como.
It all
is-
ties
yes,
together.
Sorry.
Well, and I'm not doing Lake Como this year in Italy,
So
and so
maybe
I
we go
need
back.
to go to
My-
Lake Como.
My neighbor went to
Okay.
Lake Como and was like, "Oh my!" I mean, she had
Yeah.
the pictures up, and it's beautiful. So I do want to do that kind of tour area, and maybe we do an a la carte yoga thing
Yeah.
or something. But we'll figure it out. But anyway, so she talks about stuff. She has something called Flow School. She does online Flow School, and she does in real life Flow School. So it's kind of like a retreat, but she just went to Florida and did it down there. I think it's like a week long.
I didn't find the dates, but that sounds right.
Florida is definitely America's Italy.
Totes.
It's the same shape, same type of people. So I get the
The
connection.
keys are like the boot.
Okay.
part. No.
I was
No,
like,
I'm-
wait, talk?
Totally joking.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let's see what she said. I gotta hold on.
I have a
That's
friend
not-
living
she's coming
in Italy
on
right
the
now.
Bluetooth. You do?
Yeah, he's from Argentina. He's
Oh.
making his way in Italy. He said that the people are really intense and he doesn't like them at all. So he's gonna move out of there when he gets his citizenship. He's like half his family is from there, and
Mhm.
he's just there to get his citizenship. But it takes like a long time there. They're very serious about it. But he's just like, the people not so much.
Well, I have big plans to eat gelato.
Oh,
everywhere.
that sounds great.
I think I might just eat gelato. the
That's
whole
what I'm
time.
thinking. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't need
Like, what's
big
for
fancy
breakfast?
meals. Gelato.
I will
Gelato.
say, as a 90s kid, for our one listener, if you happen to fall into that demographic, your only idea of Italy is probably based off the Lizzie McGuire movie, as is mine. And gelato was a super huge subject of that movie.
Okay.
So I'm with you. I would
Yeah.
be seeking gelato the whole time. Probably.
And there are plenty of options. I mean, they're like Dunkin' Donuts.
yeah, and the
Or
food-
Starbucks.
or
whatever.
nail salons.
Yes.
Well,
And
and
the-
then there's the coffee drink where it's ice cream and some chocolate and then coffee.
I forget what that's called, but it almost sounds like
affogato, something like that.
yeah. I forgot. Oh, I should remember. I should have
You-
remembered.
Do you remember the guy I sent you on Instagram who he talks about what plants you can eat? He's a gardener, and he's like, I'm a gardener. And he literally does. And he has the mustache that is curly like this. But he has like
I
neck
forgot.
tats and he looks really thug.
You tell
But
me
he's
like
like-
Dracula.
Yeah, he's like, you can eat the red clover. And you're like, is he serious? And you can't stop watching it. Anyways, all right. But you should go see him.
I should.
He can make you some red clover tea or something.
I could make red clover tea with our
Bring
red
it to-
clover.
Oh, yeah.
I could be like, here, it's a gift for you. Just-
I have medicine.
anyway, Carrot Bowl. Carrot Bowl Bonnie. She's awesome.
Like carrot bowl?
Carrot bowl.
Yeah, it's just her. That's
Like
just her.
a carrot bowl? I love that. I love
Yes.
that that's her name.
She's
And
she's
she actually provides some really good content. I like her a lot.
And
Yes.
Bonnie is not her age name at all. So I
Right.
love that as well.
Yeah.
That's my grandma's name, my real
Bonnie.
grandma's name, yeah.
I love so many things about her. And one of them is her crooked bun on the top of her head that she has, that she doesn't care if it's straight or crooked. She wears it off to the side-ish a lot. And mine tends to
End
do
up
that.
on the side.
We're like
Winks.
twins, me and her. But she's
So
also
like.
she's also known, like, she'll teach yoga in jeans, and she's just like, you know.
Her strong muscular body
Mhm.
gets me because like typically yoga teachers are soft and flexible, and she kind of breaks that that mental image down. And
And she has a whole program on her website. She has all her yoga videos. Like, you can Subscribe is what I'm trying to say. But she has a whole strength program for yogis.
Oh,
Like,
I need to
do
that.
this strength program to make your yoga better.
Yep.
Which is really cool. So I'll put that in the show notes
Yeah.
along with all the other. We'll put everything so you can go follow too. One listener, you'll have a lot.
Our listener is going to be so busy.
Yes.
So that's everybody.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Do we want to wrap or do we want to do one more pass?
Do we? If we can do it quick, let's do a speed round.
Okay. Okay.
Just list them out.
Okay. A fun one. Shuffle Mamas. It's Shuffle SHUFFLE
I
__
follow that.
Mamas. And it's these two ladies who learned how to shuffle during COVID. And they just get together and dance in their garage. And I've been trying to convince Rachel that we need to learn how.
Oh, I
It's
remember
hard.
that.
It's very hard.
It looks hard. We have to do. Maybe we'll just do like the first simple step
Yeah.
of it.
Well, she
Break it
said
down.
it took them like 4 months just to learn their first step. And then once they got the basic step, that's when they were able to learn others.
We might have to do this in Italy, just secretly on the side with
I love how the kids just like walking in the background. Like,
Yeah, and
they're like,
multiple-
"Mom, get up,
yeah.
popsicle."
you just see it every
And
day.
they don't even like roll their eyes at them or anything. Like
No,
they're
they just don't
dancing
even
away, and the
react.
kids are just like, "Yeah, this is normal."
Normal day.
But
That's
yeah,
so
I
funny.
enjoy that. That channel. Is it a channel?
I'm looking at
Account?
it. Yeah, channel.
Account.
You can say channel. That checks. That checks out.
Okay.
Okay, for me, fun one. Sorry, I don't know. I wrote off fun when I started healing, I guess. Yes. But there's that. Shoot, y'all. There's that one
Which
that
one is
you
that?
sent me, Brent Pella, that comedian he's also a spiritual dude,
Uh-huh.
so he makes like really relevant spiritual things that are really funny. Rachel, you go.
You want me to go? Okay,
Sorry, I can't.
that's okay. Molly dot the dot mom.
Molly. Dot. The.
Period. Yeah.
Dot.
And it should say
Got it.
Bargain Amy Adams on it because she does look like her a lot. But she
Yeah, she
is
does.
again. I picked all the weird people because
It's
I'm
cool
weird.
to be weird.
Yeah.
I love it.
She is so funny. So she drags her husband in these videos. So she finds a video, like a TikTok or a reel or something. She finds a video of like a dance or like yogis doing partner yoga together, and or like there's this one girl doing a sit up stand up with her dumbbell, and she does it, and then after, and I don't know, yeah, you can see me, and she'll do it, and she does this like awkward thing, and so she'll do it, and sometimes she fails, sometimes she does it messy, and sometimes she nails it or whatever, but all the time she's like, nailed it. And it's so funny every time. And she'll make her husband do it or whatever. But she does all this stuff, and then she's so goofy and funny that I'm sure millions, I mean, she's got all the followers and so much, and she still gets negative comments. So then at the end of the week, sorry, this was supposed to be short, but at the end of the week, she does Trolls of the Week. That's why I said that before. So she has a song, and I don't know if somebody made her a song or there's just a song out there, and she plays it, and she's like, Trolls of the Week. And then she says the username. So-and-so says, ugh, look at that fat, or whatever, whatever horrible thing they're saying. That, like, why do you have to stop
Right.
and take the time
And leave
to,
a
like,
comment about my body.
as somebody you could just, like, oh, I don't like her, I'm scrolling. Like, why? Anyway, so she does this, and then lately, the last one she says, she's like, just stop it. I can't stand you. You're so cute and pretty and keep doing that. Oh, that's not a troll. And it's just, she's
That's
just
awesome.
so funny.
Yeah.
So, because that's really what's happening on her page, is most people are saying that, like, please keep going, because it's just a little bright light.
Makes someone happy.
Yeah. So that's my
I don't think I have one. I can't think of it. I was trying to see what I've liked, and I've laughed a lot, but I've never liked it, so I don't have it
that's
tracked.
smart.
So it's just this one.
Borderline
Yeah.
unhealthy. And I think it's so that they could just tell other people that they're doing a morning routine.
Oh, 100%.
What is it? They got their skincare, they got their fitness,
They journal, they write stuff down.
diet.
Yeah, which every once in a while is fine.
Yeah, of course.
But like, you're gonna spend 6 hours doing your morning routine. You know, there's a guy out there who's actually telling people to do all these things.
Who?
Hoberman.
Oh.
Huberman.
Yeah, he's an alpha male. He's
Alpha male.
posing as an alpha
He's
male.
like alpha science
Yeah.
guy. On
Yeah,
TV
yeah,
for a
Yeah.
while. He's always telling people about like the sauna,
Yep.
cold plunge.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
just
yeah.
I want to shake him
Okay,
and be like,
that's
Huberman, if you really want people to be healthy, tell them about a dark matter show.
Absolutely. You know, you're
This is they're dressed up as aliens. That's Brit Pella. That's what.
Oh my god, that's so
I think it
funny.
was.
I think I did.
He funny.
Remind me to tell you the story about the aliens. Do you have one more? Or did you?
No, I did too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell it real quick. So,
Okay.
did you ever see the show? It's Robots, I think. I don't know what it is, but it was a show a while ago that they would put a movie on. Like, you would be watching the movie, but there were these three guys. Like,
Yeah.
it had like the seats at
I
the
can't
bottom
think
of
of the name
screen.
of it, but I know exactly what you're describing.
And they're
Masterpiece Theater, something. It's something theater.
something, yeah, I don't remember, but there's these little like robot shadow heads, like as if they're sitting a couple seats in front of you, but you actually watch the movie with them commenting,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so funny, and it was such a fun. It was like, I think I was in high school or something when that was.
Yeah, my brother
Okay.
was into it when I was in college, which would have put him in high school.
I just wrote a quote from you. Remind me to tell you about the aliens. That's good.
Tell me that one later, and I'll be like, why did I say
I'm
that?
just gonna track that.
You can text it to me like in 2 months.
Yeah.
Just
See if you remember.
Weird Science Theater.
I loved Weird Science. That was a show though. It was
Yes.
a TV show, right?
Mm.
Science. Yeah. It was for grown-ups.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was like, because I'm watching bad shows for teenagers. So I was like,
when they had the
elementary
bras
school.
on their head.
Yeah, I was like, those are dirty.
That was Weird Science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being like, I'm watching a bad teenager show. Like, it felt so rebellious.
Those
That and Freaks and Geeks.
I hear people say all the time, right? Like the world's gotten worse, and
No,
you
that
know,
shit was
movies are worse.
inappropriate.
And then I go back and I watch some of those shows that I watched with my parents when I was a preteen,
You're
and I'm
traumatized.
horrified. Like,
It was nasty in the
even
90s, bro.
Grease 2. Do you remember the song Inside the Bunker when he was trying to like get her to stay in the bunker with him? He was convincing her that
I refuse to watch Grease.
do you? 'Cause-
I don't refuse. I did in the past. I will
Okay.
watch it now, but I have not seen it.
well, I watched it maybe 100 times
No way.
as a kid.
Yeah.
And then when I went back and watched it as an adult, I was like, oh, they're talking about sex.
Yeah, yeah. Same with Grease 1. I'm like,
Oh my gosh,
I was
yeah.
like 6 years old, like
Singing
my
all
heart
the
out.
songs.
Yeah.
My mom made my sister shiny
Mhm.
pants, and
Obsessed. I was trying to find leggings. You couldn't source leggings in the 90s. It
No.
didn't exist. I mean,
I think these would
the
have
strip
worked.
ones.
yeah.
they're
I-
shiny?
Yeah, we don't even,
Yeah.
like, that's all we wear now. But I remember being like, I need some, like, skin tight pedal pushers, is what I called them. I didn't know how to, I didn't even know
Oh
what
my
leggings were.
Skin tight
Pedal pushers, girl. Yeah, that's good stuff. Inappropriate. No, the 90s was, I'm sure 80s too, but and 70s and 60s and all the way up to the beginning of color TV. But the 90s was raunchy
Mm-hmm.
and reality TV was unhinged,
Mhm.
and that's how all my preteen, well, actually, like the first reality shows, I was like in high school and I was forming my identity.
Yeah.
Around like
Jerry Springer.
Jersey Shore.
Jersey
Oh,
Shore.
well, all right.
Jim Jam Laundry.
And it was like the real world and stuff. What was that?
Because when the guys, like, that's how they spend their
Jersey Shore.
day.
Yeah, we were
Jim
like
Jam,
watching.
GTL.
It was a little before that era, but yeah, like when Laguna Beach started, and
Oh,
like,
I loved Laguna
did
Beach.
you? I was
Oh
like
my
compare.
God.
That was how I was like forming my like woman like identity as like a 15-year-old. I was like, oh my god, Stephen, you know.
Why didn't he just love Lauren back?
I don't know. And why didn't we just always have access to mini jean skirts and shit? You know, just it's so important.
I have one. Probably not as many as that
Mhm.
that I'm bringing with me. It's fingers to the knee. It's appropriate. Mini skirt, medium skirt. No,
I have a denim skirt that has the little buttons up and down the front, and it's a couple inches above my knee, but I thought it was very appropriate. How old was I when I got married for the second time? In my 40s. I was older than 40s. And I have a picture of myself in my denim skirt, sitting in a chair with all my friends beside me, and the skirt's like right here, and you can see my panties.
Hey,
go girl.
When I got the
Cute.
pictures back, I was like,
oh, you just put a little emoji.
I
with
put a
the-
sticker.
Oh, that's a real putting an emoji as a censor. Put a sticker.
We have a picture of my older son in the bathtub, and I put a sticker over.
The important.
So and put it because I have it in my photo album, and I'm like, he's gonna die if he sees
Yes.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Because you want to keep the picture.
Yeah.
Like this is a group of friends that I hadn't been with in years, and we were all together. I just had an unfortunate
You were
flashing
like,
situation.
what's that? Basic Instinct, where she's like,
Should have just done that on purpose.
with no, she didn't have any panties though.
Yeah.
She had zero.
I was totally oblivious.
That's funny.
least
Well,
that was
I think we should wrap it up. And on that note, I have a very what did you say?
Remembering something.
Oh.
He sent me. I gotta tell you, it's gotta be on here. So he sent me a short video of this mother, father, son, and grandma. The son's like 8, and the grandmother's like, and they're British, and she's like, oh, the grandmother's like, this is some very good food. I love the beef curtains. And he's like, Mom, you can't say that. Or I forget if it was the mom or whatever. And the kid's like, what are beef curtains? That's what that reminded me of. So. I'll send you the video because
It's
I'm
evolved.
butchering it. So,
The
beef
episode where we
curtains.
cried.
Do you
I've
guys,
never.
have you heard? I want to share something like that. Have you heard the song on social that's like, I think I like this little life?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I came across this Instagram account, and I don't remember the name, and I didn't follow it, but it's this little like green character that they animate, and he cooks, and he's little. He's like this green
Like
fuzzy.
Buffy?
No, but he's like a fuzzy. He looks like a little moss ball, and he has like eyes, and he wears
Oh.
a chef hat and like long arms, and he cooks like tiny things. And I know this because the video that was served to me was him going, "And you never be yours," and he's like
Oh
cooking.
my God.
And he like takes a big basil leaf and he like slices a little like sliver of it. He like floats the basil up and then like slices it. And he's like, and he's like, and he takes like a giant tomato. It's a little cherry tomato, and he like hurls it on the counter and slices a piece and then puts it in a pan and is like, and I was like, this shit is so fucking funny. I like couldn't stop watching it. And there was this one that I scrolled onto, and it was like, it was like the view of him in an office, like working at a desk, like he's like part of an agency, and there's a normal sized people in the background working with their headphones on a computer. And he goes, I think I like this heater life. And everyone in the background goes, and just like,
Oh,
you know how if you're scrolling, it'll be like, I think. And you're just like, I think I like. And I don't remember the name of it.
Now it's gonna pop up. We'll see it
It
now.
made me laugh
yes.
so hard for so long, like way too long. I was crying, just like That's
Like
it.
just like I just was.
Yeah, it was really good, and I think he got on to. I think Nickelodeon might have like signed him because they were like incorporating that into the content, like him getting a call. He's like, "Hello, did I get choose? No, did I choose?" And the
Oh.
human's like hand is like, "No." And he's like, "Oh," you know, it's like this whole thing. Man, I can't remember his name, but yeah, I think Nickelodeon ended up signing him, so he's probably on Nickelodeon now. But damn, it was that was my share. I'm glad that happened because I remembered.
That's awesome.
I'll find out the
Oh.
name and maybe the listener will email.
Listener, can you check that out for us? All right, seriously.
I'm glad y'all laughed at that too. I've been dying to share that with someone because every now and then I'll just start laughing so hard that I cry because I'm trying to hold it in. And I did it with my friend. She was doing like energy work on me, and I was just like, you know, I was like crying about something, and then she got to like my heart or something, and it like released, and then I thought of that thing, and I just started laughing like uncontrollably. And she was like, "Get it out!" And I was like, "Have you ever heard I think this?" And she was like, "No," and I was like, "Oh,
Never mind.
But yeah, the fact that y'all knew me is really great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, listener.
Thank you,
Thank you, listener. See you
We are
next
outta
Wednesday.
here, and I'm gonna
See
leave
you.
all this awkward me turning this stuff off. Does anybody else want to turn? Elizabeth, don't you
I
want to turn that off?
There's the mic.
See?